The classroom management technique theory that I chose to review is Classroom Organization and Management Program, also known as COMP, which was created by Carolyn Evertson and Aileen Harris. The characteristics of this approach is a process outcome approach. They believe that students should be responsible for their own outcomes of how they create their work, their behavior, and how they want to learn. The goal is to improve instruction in the classroom, and Evertson and Harris actually have a website that hosts workshops. Their website is www.comp.com, and they host these workshops for teachers, and it allows them to process their own feedback. So they get to see what is working in their classroom from year to year and what doesn't work, so that way they can improve their instruction and improve their management within their classroom. The premises for the teachers is for the management to be proactive in the class. The instruction intertwines with what they're learning in other subjects, what they will learn with other teachers, and that students are active participants and that teachers are willing to work together. They believe that misbehaviors will occur, and each misbehavior has a level to it. They're minor, moderate, and extensive. A minor misbehavior could just be talking out or something simple like that, tapping their pencil on their desk, and the teacher will just tell them to stop or to stop whatever they are doing. A moderate, more severe behavior might be getting up and walking away, and these consequences can be a privilege taken away, and then the most extensive behaviors, any type of violence, could result in a conference with the teacher and the parent and the principal. They also believe that in order to have an effective classroom, you have to start planning before the school year. Planning needs to occur during the summer so that on the first day of school, students know what is expected of them. They know what the year will entail, how you react, and what your rules are for the classroom. During the applications, it's important for the teachers to have good management, of course, and this includes having good manners. Students won't respect you if you're mean to them, if you have a bad attitude, because how we act will encourage how they act. If we have a bad attitude, they might have a bad attitude. If we are having a bad day, it can vibe off of us and they'll have a bad day. We need to be prepared if we have a science lesson occurring and we need beakers and different types of fluid and we don't have those and we have to run around and get them. It can create chaos in the classroom, which of course leads to misbehaviors. We need to make sure that our expectations are clear. A lot of students might have a hard time understanding how to do something and posting them on the board, on the desk, clearly and simply will help them understand and even provide a checklist for them, so that they're able to do it and not constantly having to call out. And make sure that we provide constant feedback to the students. They want to know how well they're doing. I know when I was growing up, I hated to wait for a test weeks and weeks later to know how I did. I wanted to know as soon as I could. And making sure that we communicate clearly with the students. We don't need to necessarily be their friend, but we need to be sure that they can talk to us about anything and that we can talk to them, so that they can trust us. Everson and Harris also believe in addressing the misbehaviors immediately. If you don't, then another student who's constantly calling out and not raising their hand, and it's not addressed, then the next student's going to do it. And eventually you have the whole class calling out, and you're constantly having to yell and stop what you're doing because it wasn't addressed the first time and made aware the first time that you must raise your hand, not call out. After doing some research on the internet, I really couldn't find many limitations to this type of model. They do suggest that this type of model is the best for new teachers because it is pretty simple, and the fact that you plan beforehand, create firm expectations, and then deal with things on a needed basis. I'm not a teacher yet. I know some teachers, and it seems like a lot of the issues that teachers are currently having are time issues. So I think that in order for things to be properly planned and having enough materials, you have to have enough time to do it. And I don't know if teachers always have that enough time to, gather all that, and those can cause issues within the classroom. The greatest strength, I think, is the workshops. Harrison and Evertson created workshops for teachers, like I addressed in the beginning, and through my research, they always had positive outcomes when they were provided feedback afterwards. The first half of the year they did the school year without the comp model, and then they went to the workshop, and then they started the comp model in their classroom, and they all saw improvement in students' behavior and how they worked with the other students and how the teacher felt. And to conclude, I feel like this model is great because I want feedback yearly. Not every student and not every classroom will be the same. So I want to be able to work on what doesn't work because I want to make sure that the next year it may work better. And I like that you can work on this beforehand. I think that's important for teachers so that they can have it set and ready to go, and that students are set and ready to go at the beginning of the school year.